Sebastian, my guy Sebastian, where you been, bro?
Me? Where you
Where
been?
you been? Where I've been hustling. I've been trying to make money. You know what I
East
mean?
End, East End.
Yeah, I've been all over the GTA. Holla at your boy.
What episode is
I
it? Three?
think, I think, due to technical grammar, blah 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 difficulties, this is gonna be episode 3.
Yes. Welcome to Hot Topics,
Hot
episode
topics.
3.
0.01. Yeah,
So how you been, man?
man. Oh, I've been, I've been me. I've been busy, tired, busy, running up and down, doing things. Trying to stay focused. Most importantly, but yeah. How about you? I see you got a little diesel going on here. He's really coming for me. He's trying to make me look bad. I still knock him out. I'm just saying. You know what
Listen, we could do the charity game,
I mean?
a charity
Anytime.
boxing match.
Anytime. I'll be ready for you. You be ready for me?
I just gotta watch out for his jab and his reach. But yeah,
Give
man,
to
I've
me every
been
time.
very blessed. Just kind of unwinding and unwinding
You whining? Sebastian.
to relax.
Yeah, whine up. Really, you didn't know me. I tell by you. Better them than the one.
I don't know what he's saying, but hopefully we can translate. Anyways, so what's new, man? Any issues? How's work? How's the fams?
Well, the fam's great. No complaints. No real complaints there. Nothing that cannot be fixed by the good Lord. You know what I mean? Prayer and the good Lord. Yeah. When it comes to family's a different stroke. And I'm gonna get a phone call about that same comment just now. I know. Once it goes live, they're gonna be like, "What do you mean, prayer and family and yeah. Whatever. Leave me alone. Do you?"
But there's no perfect family, right? Like to have issues, that's normal, right? And I think we gotta really count what we have. You know what I mean? To just call, say, "Hey, I'm thinking of you. Hey, is everything all right?" I feel like a lot of people.
Hold on. Go ahead.
Oh, I'm used to this, folks. You know?
Go ahead.
So, yeah, it's normal when there's issues that come forth, right? Everybody goes through something. We don't know it, but it's always good to kind of check in, especially if you're a good friend and just see how everything is going.
Did
So,
you check on me?
of course I did.
I've been drinking. I can't sing.
No.
Been drinking more.
What?
You know that song where the lady's like, "I've been drinking in something banga."
No, I don't know.
You don't know that song? It's a good song, bro. It's a real life thing when you think about it. When you listen to the lyrics, she's like, "Yo, I've been going through some things. Did you check on me? You know what I mean? I could be here flatline, dead out my mind. Did you check on me? You know?"
So when you say check in, I realize that there are people that say they're good, but they're not, and they're going through something. And usually people can kind of sense that because, the person that's going through something, their pattern is off.
Right.
So, when I do call in and check up on one of my friends, they'll say they're good, but I know they're
Ain't
not.
good.
Yeah.
I mean, I hear what you're saying because a lot of times you do the generic thing. "Hey, how you doing? Is everything good?" And the generic response is, "Yeah, I'm good," or "Yeah, everything's fine." And like you said, it's not fine. Something's wrong. Something's amiss. But we've been so cultured in this society to say, "Oh well, I'm gonna leave it alone, mind my own business," and da da da. Even though I know something's wrong, so shouldn't I be like, "Yo, what's up? What's going on? Like, what's the issue?" Shouldn't you be kind of like sticking at them a little bit? But you know, is there a right way or is there a wrong way to approach somebody when something is wrong? Maybe, but at the same time, you got to break that ice, and it's very hard for people to break that ice with folks when they don't want to really. How do I say? They something's wrong, like you said, but they don't want to come out and say it, and you don't want to like drill it out of them, but you kind of have to. So it's like, yo, it's like you telling someone to go to the doctors, and the person's like, "I'm not going to doctors, I'm fine," and something's wrong with them, and they kind of feel it in themselves that something's wrong, but they're just being stubborn. So to actually have that conversation, to say to the person, oh, hey, talk to me, what's going on, what's the issue? A lot of people ain't gutsy enough or brave enough or just bold enough or just being blatant enough, like, yo, walk on. You know what I mean? And then, again, even when you do that, the other person's all like, so it's like, where do you draw the line? Where do you win and where do you lose? Like,
I think it's just a level of where your friendship lies, or even like the closeness with your family member. I think when you have that close connection, I think that's when you should, you know, have those uncomfortable questions. Hey, I know you're telling me you're good, but I see these things happen, right? Just being a genuine person, the other person can know, hey, like something, that they know, okay, he knows something or she knows something, right? I don't think a friendship or a family relative should feel uncomfortable to ask to check in, because how the world is going, there's a lot of stuff that's happening, right? And one of the things is mental health.
I don't believe that word.
What?
I don't understand. Please break it down for me.
Yo,
What do you
pause. What?
What do you mean? What is mental health? Like, what is that? No. I'm
Mental?
hold
Oh.
on. I'm a person of
What?
trying to understand. It's a good thing we went there. I'm a person of trying to understand when somebody says something. I try to like understand, what do you mean? I give you an example. Hold on. When I was a young guy, Jesus, time flies. So the word diagnosis, I was like, what? Diagnosis? I'm like, what does that mean? You know what I mean? Like, I asked my sister, I'm like, yo, what does diagnosis mean? Like, I didn't get it. Like, when I hear certain words, I'm trying to understand what it really means. And down the line, I kind of figured out from being inquisitive and asking some questions. Yeah, okay, this is what diagnosis means. Basically, I'm not giving you the dictionary example of it. I'm giving you my example of it. I'm pretty sure it kind of lines up. When somebody has been something has been identified about that person based on a series of tests or something of that sort, then you've diagnosed that, oh, this person is schizophrenic or whatever you want to call it. You know what I mean? So, but like, to hear a word like mental health, bro, please explain. What does mental health mean? Because that seems to be my mental health. It's getting thrown around there like, yo, this is hot bread. So please, Sebastian, tell me, what does it mean? What is mental health to you?
Yeah, so again, I'm not a professional in that field. Anything that affects your way of thinking.
That sounds like stress to me, but go
Right?
ahead.
But again, stress can be a component of mental health, right? It can push you to have a nervous breakdown where you can't function, where you can't continue your regular routine. And you got to understand, it does exist. There is evidence, right, that states, hey, having a nervous breakdown, developing mental issues in different areas, getting diagnosed, and having the stigma of, oh my gosh, is he crazy or is she crazy?
Isn't that bipolar
Again, it's
or schizophrenia?
mental health is such a huge umbrella, and there's things that fall underneath it, right? I can't sit down and explain every strand of it, but the thing is, it does exist. And in the Caribbean culture, because I'm very familiar with it,
Where are you from?
Canada. But I have a lot of friends that are from the Caribbean culture.
So what are you?
And what does that matter? Hold on.
See?
Hold on.
Go ahead.
Let me finish, and then we can talk about that. But in the Caribbean culture, mental health wasn't talked about, and it needs to be talked about, because that way of thinking is the old way of thinking.
Why?
Right? Because to grow, we need to continuously learn.
Okay.
And we need to understand something, especially when the pandemic happened, right? Mental health was one of the things that, was looked at. And now, in my field of work, it's looked at pretty intensely because there's a lot of people that are affected. But mental health has been, a huge issue since I was born, but it's getting the attention, you know, recently, and it
So-
should be for a while. Like,
What is the issue of mental health?
what do you mean? What is the issue?
What is mental health? I
Break
mean,
it down.
hold on.
Mental?
You just gave me this umbrella, umbrella of series of mental events or cases or things that would fall under mental health. But like, how is this? Why is it mental health? Why? Okay. What it? Mental health. Like, I have a hard time grasping that umbrella. I kind of understand what you're saying, but it's like we're putting issues, we're putting symptoms all under this umbrella of mental health. How bad is it that everything is deciding to fall under mental health?
Okay, can you repeat what you're saying? That question was very,
Long-winded.
yeah.
I'm trying to understand this umbrella of mental health, and why does all of these things fall under mental health, and why is it that mental health is so, like you said, in the Caribbean culture, it's so not talked about, but it's an actual thing.
Well, to be fair, it's just not in the Caribbean culture, right? It can be in any culture.
Right.
But I had a lot of Caribbean friends, and I saw, a lot of them go through of denying mental health or spontaneously having a relative or themselves develop mental health.
Can I get an example?
So, for instance, again, I gave you an example. It can be a single mother or single father, right? Having a regular routine of taking care of, their responsibilities. Something happens. You may not see it, but maybe they're going through it. And just for an example, a level of stress. So we can all handle a certain level of stress.
Okay.
Some people can't when
True.
it gets to a point where they don't know how to deal with it and they internalize it, right? And this is just one small piece of this bigger picture of mental health. And when they can't handle a certain amount of stress, they have a nervous breakdown. When they have a nervous breakdown, it can look totally different it could look totally different in every way you can think of because it's not one set way, right? And then again, like you said, you mentioned bipolar, right? That's a part of mental health, right? Did you know that?
It's under the umbrella.
Right. That's what I'm saying. But again, I'm not a professional to deal with that, right? You're not a profession to deal with that. We have to do our own research and educate ourselves to understand, right? We don't even know who the lead social worker, psychologist, physicians in regarding mental health, right?
You're good, straight. Okay. I get that, but it's like, my thing is, I get a nervous breakdown. I get depression. I get bipolarism, schizophrenia, whatever, any blah blah blah. I get all of that. But to say it's mental health, that's
So okay, so
Hold
you're
on, hold on, hold on.
saying it
Hold on.
exists, but you don't like the name for it.
I don't get the I don't like the clause name, like, that's mental health. Like, to me, when you say mental and you say health, I'm thinking like something positive, Yo, you went to school, you went to health class, you learned about something in school, gym, phys ed, blah blah, health class, you learned about the body, right? and to say mental health, to me, those words together are supposed to mean something positive, right? And mental health is seen as something that is negative, or it's mental health is something that's deprivating to you as a person, right? I feel like my mental health, your mental health, everybody's mental health should be in a good space, right? And I feel like the word, I rather you call it for what it is. I rather you call it depression. I rather you call it schizophrenia, bipolar, depression. I rather someone call it that. But when you say mental health, I'm just like, huh?
So, and again, it's a level of comfort that individual feels with you having that conversation. But if they don't feel comfortable, they use certain terms like that. Hey, I'm dealing with some mental health issues.
That's a
So you got to understand when you go direct with somebody and say, hey, I'm dealing with depression, or hey, I'm dealing with, if I don't take my meds, my schizophrenia is going to come, I'm going to have an episode. There's labeling, right? And again, there's that negative notion. If I share that specific strand of mental health with you, then you're going to make me look like I'm crazy, or make me feel like that. So again, it's a level of comfort a person feels to share that information, right?
Right.
Again, there's post-traumatic stress, right? You can't really see it. Like they have to share that with you, right? Like you can't go to that experience that they have. Like you say, do you have any mental health issues, you think?
me. I got lots of gray hairs.
Yeah. But again, you know how to handle any situation.
I wouldn't say any situation.
Okay,
I think I know how to adjust and still function as a human being, and to have a state of sanity, because I know that if I go over the edge, I'm already thinking 3 steps ahead what may or may not happen, which you got to be conscious of your surroundings. So as long as you have a thinking or a thought process that is healthy, then you should be okay. That's my
But
my
again,
opinion.
everybody
It's
has
different.
different challenges, and
Right.
the way you may look at
Can I-
solving an issue.
Can I cut you for a second though?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, so you said folks may or may not feel comfortable using that word with you, like say, "Oh, I gotta go take my meds because my schizophrenia may kick in." I personally, I would prefer you say that to me or over my mental health, because you're putting a blanket statement on what the real issue is, right? So to me, it's like you're lying, right? If you got schizophrenia, say you got schizophrenia, my mental health. What does that mean? You know what I mean? What type of world we living in? We have to be so cautious of the words we use when we talk to people, and then when we get into it, it's like, is the conversation a real conversation, or now do I have to use my brain to figure out what you're trying to say? I got to put the pieces of the puzzle together to say, oh, this person is trying to tell me that they're having issues because blah blah blah. But to me, what you're saying, it really sounds like you're depressed because this is happening, that's happening, and then you're telling me it's mental health, and then I'm thinking, mental what?
I don't think necessarily it's lying. I think it depends on the person, and it depends on the level of comfort.
Hey Sebastian, how you doing?
To come out,
Hey Sebastian, how you doing?
I'm doing well.
Are
But
you
let
sure?
me finish my point. Yes. To come out and to tell somebody, hey, this is the specific issue or the challenge that I'm facing with mental health, they have to feel a level of comfort. And you need to understand, when people share that, there's a stigma. Oh, I'm not normal like the average Joe or Jane.
Nobody's normal.
But again, this is how society placed it and media placed it for the longest time.
True.
Right? We both do boxing,
Yeah.
right? And we have the most respect for Mike Tyson, correct?
Oh, I respect
When
Mikey.
he was perceived in his younger days boxing, he was seen as this crazy,
Animal.
caged, unintelligent
Yeah.
individual. But when you look at him now,
When you hear him talk.
when you hear this human gentleman talk, so sophisticated, a philosopher in his own ways, because he does his own research, he doesn't discriminate anybody, he has love and kindness. But again, where I'm going with this is that we have a notion, right? The media portrayed a notion on what crazy looks like. And when you come out and say, hey, I have mental health, for the longest period of time, you were looked at as crazy. So if someone doesn't want to share that issue with you or that obstacle, that's on them. We have to respect it, right? Just like you don't want to share your family's skeletons closets to everybody you meet. There's a level of comfort, you know. We all know no one's perfect, but there's that, you know, stigma of, you know, if you just do what you're supposed to do, you won't have any issues. But everybody's going through something.
I hear you, and I don't really want to disagree with anything you just said. But when it comes down to it, if we don't call a spade, or you know, get things like, you know, how when we're talking about the whole Alcoholics Anonymous and stuff, and you know, the steps that they got to go through, and you know, you got to talk about it, you got to own up to whatever it is, and you got to accept it, and you got to move forward. I'm looking at it from that point of view. If you don't feel, you know, I'm not saying go out and tell everybody your business, like, oh, I'm schizophrenic, you know, whatever it is, you know, you don't tell everybody your business. I get that, you know, but like, if you're not comfortable in your skin to say, yo, I have a problem and I'm working on it and this is what it is, we use a blanket statement. You're, to me, I'm not trying to judge anybody, but I feel like if you're honest with yourself, then you're that much closer to bridging the gap or breaking through and getting over that hurdle, that hurdle that's been keeping you low. Now, if you keep calling it something else and not identifying it, then how much further are you away from breaking away from that, whatever it is that's keeping you low, or whatever it is that you're continuously fighting with, that you're trying to get over but you can't get over? Hold on, because you feel like, you know, if you talk about it, somebody's going to shame you or shun you or tell you that you're this or you're that. Who cares what anybody wants to say? At the end of the day, it's up to you to get better, to get up and try again and figure it out, and try to not let this thing hold you down, because if it holds you down, it's going to keep you captive, and the more captivated it is to you, the stronger it gets, and if it gets stronger and stronger, then maybe it might take over and take hold of you and just take you away. I don't know. I'm just saying.
Here's something to think about. It's one thing for you to say it, but it's another thing for you to live it. I cannot walk an inch in their shoe because I don't know how their brain is functioning. Mm-hmm. Just like a person can't tell you what it feels to be a colored person in Canada, right? Unless they're colored themselves. But even then, there's different journeys that you guys both went differently. All I'm trying to say is the confidence that you have is you. Right? Other people may not have that confidence. And you need to understand that negative stigma is still looked at, right? We have, I think, one day where it's like Mental Health Bell Day. I don't know if I think it's a month. But again, I'm not a professional. I'm not an expertise. I try to educate myself on this matter. But, you know, it's really hard for you to say, whatever you're going through, be straight up and, you know, own it. I don't think it's fair for you to say that because you haven't walked an inch in their shoes, right? What if, for instance, I worked with an adolescent girl. she had 16 multiple personality disorder. There's 16 people that she was dealing with. 16 different personalities.
16 different consciousness.
Right? And again, it's something similar to the movie Split. Have you seen it?
Split. Is that what Bruce Willis broke in and
So no, there's a guy that is has different personalities.
yeah.
Right? And at different times it would come out.
And he can be like a strong guy.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. Bruce Willis. There's
It wasn't Bruce Willis.
hold on, man, Bridget. Let me finish. There's Unbreakable. There's that one, and there's the third one. I don't remember which one, but they all come together. I think it's a beautiful story. And Bruce is not Bruce Willis. Is Samuel L. Jackson in one of them?
Yes.
Bridget, we I thought about the same thing,
No,
but the man
there's
are
no
going like
Bruce
someone.
Willis.
Yes, bro.
There's it.
You're not
There's it.
listening. So there's that guy. There's Unbreakable. I think Unbreakable was first. Split was second. And I don't remember the name of the third one right now.
I'm talking about Split. You're talking about two other different movies.
No, it's one big thing, bro. It's like the Matrix 1, 2, and 3, but it's not called the same thing.
So that movie
Yes, I know what you're talking about.
didn't even show what the different personalities. Like, it's Hollywood, it's popular media, right? How they portray. But when I was working with this adolescent, I learned so much just trying to talk to this person, trying to see how I can assist her when there's an episode. But you need to understand, it was very, very traumatic for me because, like you said, they can't just get up and
Switch
shake
it
it off,
Yeah,
right? Like,
it's got a hold of them.
we're not understanding it because, again, we're not professionals, and I don't know how much I can stress that, but it is very, very hard to see. And again, this adolescent was a person that was trying to get treatment at Canark, but I was looking at it in a different lens. I was looking at it as a worker, and then I started looking at a lens of, oh my gosh, I'm seeing the mother and father seeing that, you know, their soon teenager daughter going to become an adult, going through these phases, and
It's getting worse.
and it's like it was very, very sad because there are times where, you know, law enforcements
Ooh,
were called because that situation was in crisis,
Babylon boy,
right?
show up.
But again, they didn't even know how to deal with it, right? Because there's not enough training, right, to handle mental health. So there is training, but it's not full, you know. And you know me, like, I'm a huge advocate for law enforcement because I have a lot of respect. We have a good buddy that does amazing work that works for Peel.
He does.
And you know, it's really sad that, you know, there's not enough training in the mental health department.
Okay. Can I?
Please go ahead.
I don't knock anything what you just said. There needs to be more training. There's definitely there's a gap in understanding like what triggers and how to deal with this stuff. But what if we took a biblical point of view from this? What if you know? Remember what Jesus said? Some of these things don't go without fasting and prayer. And I feel like, me personally, I feel like these organizations, how they're set up, they're not really set up to help the individual to escape from that traumatic event that's continuous in their life, but they will help them to cope with it, so to speak, in order for them to gain such revenues from them being in care, right? And that way their organization will get funding and things will happen for them, but you're not really treating the person because now this person's acting up and you don't know what to do. And before you, you either call law enforcement or you use certain things to calm them down. And these things are like drugs, and these drugs are not necessarily easy on your system, your liver and your kidney and all of that. Whatever they're pumping into you, what they do to your mind and all of that, it's 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 killing you. It's killing you. It's killing you. But what if the world took a different spin on this? What if they put Jesus at the front of it and said, "Yo, let's pray about it. Let's try to you know, actually get to the bottom of this." Do you think that would make a difference, or do you think that this organization or these organizations have it figured out?
That's a good question. I think if we put our faith in front of it, and again, you know, a lot of things that the Bible talked about was at that time, right? Right? It was in that era, right?
Give me. What do you mean by that time?
Well, there's a miracle that Jesus did where he cast the demons from a man to the pigs.
Boy, you didn't have to go that
Right?
far. I didn't want to
But-
say that.
Right? No, right?
Right?
But again, it's like I believe that, and we both can agree, is that God is love, right?
Yes.
100%. And I believe that when you pray over somebody, you know, people think miracles are going to happen right away. And
Expectation.
yeah, and I think we are thinking,
We call that in the moment belief or actually I call that in the moment belief or faith.
we're thinking if we go to church Sundays,
Saturday.
Saturdays, Sundays, Fridays, 7 days of the week, whatever you want to go, right? We think we're going to be healed. No, that's not what's going to happen. Like, I think God gives us the tools, right? We pray and God gives us the tools, and it's our choice to use it. And I think if God gives a person medication, if God gives
Mankind,
no.
knowledge.
If God gives knowledge, right, wisdom, to create medicine to help somebody, that's free will, correct?
Correct.
And if man or woman uses that free will to corrupt and use it as a capital,
I like that.
right, as a capital gain, then that's not on God. That's on us.
Us.
And talking about us, we are the blame. We are the blame. You're the blame. I'm the blame. And do you know why I say that?
Oh,
Do you know why I say that?
please tell me why.
What did you do for the election? Who did you put into power?
Who are we talking about here?
Well, you said-
Canada or like that. That's a deep topic.
No, but
bro.
that's what I'm saying.
Are we
So
talking
when
about
you're saying
Ontario?
listen, when you're saying all these organizations
Uh-huh.
that are giving, these
funds.
right? It comes from who? The government.
Which
correct?
one? Federal or on
It can be
provincial?
both. It can be both.
I didn't know that. Okay, go
You
ahead.
didn't know that?
I'm asking.
This
which
is
one?
why-
Is
this
it
is why-
provincially funded or
This-
federally funded?
This is why it's so important, right, to vote. And it's so important that we share what voting does and that we align ourselves with people that have voted before and have a conversation and say, why are you voting for this gentleman or for this lady? Tell us why we should vote for this person. We need to have an open conversation. And it should start at the schools,
Uh-huh.
right? Because at the end of the day,
Indoctrination.
if we don't cover the foundations, then we're going to put whoever into power, and they're going to, fund these organizations that are going to pump up, adults, youth, kids with these medication, and then the cycle is going to be a hamster wheel. But we need to understand something. Again, God gives us the tools, right?
Right.
It's not God making these bad choices.
Not God.
So, takeaway point for me is that when we pray, we pray for the tools and the right people and wisdom
Okay. So,
to deal with this.
let's see here. I want to back up a little bit. I'll mess with the politics in a second, but I kind of wasn't trying to go there about the whole, the swine and the casting of the.
He's Seventh Day, folks. He's
What?
Seventh Day.
No,
Saturday
no,
church.
No, we're not even. Yo, start down the port. That's all I'm gonna say. We don't want to hear what nobody wants to say about what Paul said when Paul said what he said.
What about Jerk Port?
Fire. 10 pocket matches.
Mr. Jerk and Malton has a really good Jerk Port.
Fire. Anyways, no, that's not really what I want to talk about. So, you said something. So he casted. Oh yeah, that's what you said. You said you think that was Jesus. You said some of the things happened in Jesus' time were before Jesus' time and not necessarily for now. Is basically what you're saying?
No, what I'm saying is it's really hard to relate certain things
How?
from the Bible that took place,
Yeah.
right, to now. For me, this is how I look at the Bible, right?
Oh.
I look at the Bible as a way to connect with God, a way to have devotion, a way to prayer, right?
Uh-huh.
But I also believe God gives us our own challenges that we can relate to the Bible, right? Or find something that we can relate to the Bible and navigate through our obstacles of life.
Okay. All right. So,
That was a good response.
you feel goody. As a confident guy. So, oh man, I can talk about confidence too, but anyways. So, there's nothing new under the sun. The Bible says that, right? Nothing new under the sun. So, if there was those problems then, we're having those problems today, correct?
Okay?
Okay. People have been struggling with different mental issues. This doesn't sound like mental health. It's totally different. Mental issues. Issues is issues. You put the two together. You know what I'm trying to say? So, people who have these issues and they're in need of some type of, we'll say, deliverance or some sort of peace or restitute from the situation that has them captivated, right? The Bible talks about what one may or may not do in a situation where somebody is, how do I say it? A situation where somebody's not themselves, where there's another entity that may be, see, this is why I don't like using other words, cover up words. I just want to call it what it is, but I'm just trying to keep it a little PG for some folks who get scared when they hear certain words.
You know what? I think for you to not be genuinely you.
So when you're possessed, or some possession may be going on, like there are biblical mandates that talk about what should or shouldn't be done in a situation like that, right? Prayer and fasting is very important, and a lot of people have taken the due diligence of prayer and or fasting out of their daily lives, and then when they do put it in their daily lives, it's I'm on devotion for this or for that, but I myself, we're all charged with a charge of a higher calling, and that there's things that we should be doing that we are not doing in this dispensation that needs to be happening, and so that the glory can be seen. And a lot of people are so caught up in their everyday life that they're not even focused on what's really going on, because at the end of the day, as important as my soul is important, your soul is important, that person that may be in need of some help, their soul is important. Jesus talks about saying, these things are for the glory of God to be seen, and if we're not doing anything about it, then people will question, is there a God? What's really going on? Put them in the madhouse. You put somebody in the madhouse and then have your way government people, officials, pump them with drugs, sedate them, do what you want. 20 years later, they come out, they're like a vegetable. It's like there's nobody there anymore because you've kept them so wrapped up under these drugs.
But I think, to be honest, I always believe God sends people.
Oh, yeah, he does.
And when he sends people, right, he gives you a choice. And again, it goes back to free will, right? He gives us a choice to say, hey, I'm going to continue this, or hey, I'm not going to continue it. I always believe no matter how worse a situation is, God always gives a choice.
Free will.
Again, for instance, there are other circumstances that are uncontrollable, right? And things happen, and I don't want to get into that. But I always believe, like 9 out of 10 times, God always gives you a choice, but it is us to make that
Up to
decision
us.
of either making a good decision or a bad decision. But again, there's other situations, and my mom says it all the time at the dinner table. Well, what if this happens as an extreme? And I don't know how to answer it, right? And again, if I tell you what my mother says, it's going to kind of go
What she
deter to another thing.
What she said? What she said? What she said?
Well, what happens if a person gets raped?
Oh,
And again, that is, I don't know how to answer that, right? But I always believe that, you know, that's something that I'm going to ask God when I see him. But, you know, it's a really tough situation and circumstances that people go through to give a response to that. Do you know what I mean?
it's very traumatic for a woman. Very traumatic.
Yep.
And I'll be honest. I've never been in that shoe, and
Yep.
Lord knows. Yeah. Fire.
But it's also it's also traumatic being a woman as well, right? Because
Oh, yeah.
in the church, you know, it says men should be at the top, right?
What do you mean by that?
Well, you should submit to your husband.
So you feel like, so you're talking a little marital rape type of thing, or just like
Oh no, sorry. I'm just saying.
clarify?
Sorry, two different issues. I'm saying, you know, being a woman, there's their own challenges, right? It's still a male-dominated world in
That's a
society.
lie.
What?
Not right now. Woman wear the pants, bro. you go get divorced. See what happens.
I don't think so. What I see
Ah.
and what you accept as finding a life partner, then you see the characteristics. I don't think women wear the pants.
I've seen.
I think.
Hold on. I'm not. Let me clarify.
And we are going from one issue to another.
Yeah. So I feel like society has women's back right now more than it has the man's back. When I say the women wear the pants, not like they run the show. But anyways, I don't even want to go there. But why I say that is I know a lot of individuals that have been in that situation where it comes to the courts and the children and the rights and all of that, and 8 times out of 10, the women get the better of the situation, right? And then, how do I say? I don't want to go into this too deep, but yeah, they get the better of the situation. If the man doesn't do what he's court ordered to do, then things get turned around, and the man has now, you know, potentially could lose his license, this, that, because, you know, rightfully so, you guys came together and you brought a child into this world, so you should probably, you know, do your due diligence. When it reaches to the court, the Bible says it's an unjust judge, bro. But anyways, another story. It can get sticky, you know, and kudos to some women that don't even go that route, but you know others do, and it's based on some of the men's response to the situation why some of the women have to go to that route. You know, they're trying to run from the responsibilities. That's not cool. And then there are some women who are just spiteful, right? And that, my friend, is why I say, and when I say what I say, I could give you testimonies. Not me, bro. Not me. I can give you testimonies of folks that have gone through that situation in the system, and it has been very detrimental to the male figure. However, okay for the female figure in the situation, because there are children involved, and the courts look at it in a way to say, well, you know, we got to do what's best for the children, and if this is the situation, this is how it's going to work out, somebody's going to have to pay, and because this person has to pay, it is what it is. However, sometimes some women are very manipulative in the situation, and it can cause more problems. That may stress a person out, you know. That may put a person in a depression. That and when I say may put a person in depression, that can go either way. That can put the male or the female into a state of depression. I don't know. I'm not in that position, but I could see some of those things happening because at the end of the day, we live in a world that in order to function, we need resources, and resources are attained through a means of a means of currency, which is money, and without the money, not a lot can get done, and unfortunately, money is like a yoke over our heads when it comes to certain things, children, a house, bills, blah blah blah. That currency defines our mindset, and it can hold us, and it could be a problem. Just saying.
I I don't know. I think
Disagree with me. Disagree. On to the next topic.
you know what? I think males can manipulate situations as well,
Agreed.
and uh, it's tough. I think if you prove facts in court, I think your case will come to your side. But if you can't prove it, then it's going to go to the other side. I think people that have trauma, if you spend enough time with the person, you see it, right? There's a great book by Robert Greene called Human Nature. He also wrote 48 Laws of Power. You should read it. And it talks about different personalities, different traits. And again, it's something, that you should really, really look at, whether you're a male, you're a female, when it comes to dating. Like, hey, what's a long investment? Am I trying to find a life partner? If I am, okay, these are the characteristics or traits that they need to have. Again, there are things that you can see that are occurring,
Red flag.
and yeah, and red flags. But again, maybe there's pressure at home because of culture. You're supposed to get married at a young age, or you're getting older, and there's pressure with your friends because they all got married and are having kids, right? Or you kind of minimize what he's doing or she's doing, and you kind of don't call it out. So these things is like a snowball effect, right? And this is
Right.
why again, you need to know yourself, and you need to know your emotional intelligence. And when you have a better understanding of who you are, then you know what you can offer to a person. And if they can't match or add to you, then that person's not for you. And you need to understand, and this is why I give a lot of respect to people that hold off, being intimate with a person until their wedding, because that piece really clouds a lot of people's judgment.
Oh. You want me to comment on that?
Sure.
Bro, next topic, bro. I'm not saying nothing. Next topic. I ain't going there. Tell you
But-
right now.
But again, I have to disagree with you. I don't think it's a woman's society.
Fire.
And I think still, like, every dollar a male makes, I think it's like 70 cents a woman makes. I think, if you look at, I'm pretty sure there's so much statistics out there.
Bro, I work in the trades. If there's a woman in the trades, she's getting paid equal opportunity money. Just saying.
But again,
I don't know about the corporate world. I'm not in the corporate world. Just saying.
so again, if she is in the trade, what kind of comments is thrown at her? I like that.
I don't know. It's funny because I'm taking an electrical course right now, and there's a girl in the class, smart girl, and I kind of asked her some of those questions, and she's like, what's funny? She's like, I used to get hit on by guys when I was younger, but now she doesn't get hit on anymore. I was like, huh? She's like, yeah. Or as much. Okay. Those are her words. I don't know what to say to that. You know what I mean? She does her job. She's good at what she does. She did say people are, saying this and that. The only thing she said, they said they wish you'd speed up a little bit. But hey, it's whatever. Everybody has their own pace. Once you get there, you get there. Don't be stressing nobody over their pace. They said I was slow. Matter of fact, true story. One of my first jobs was Tim Hortons. Tim Hortons. Yeah, bro. I got your coffee ready for you. Nothing added extra. All to the T. But there's a formula or there's a system to it. Get the coffee every 20 minutes. You got to refresh the coffee so it doesn't go stale, blah, 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 yada, yada. Double, double, 2 cream, 2 sugar, whatever. So me, I don't know if you can see it from the camera, but I got these natural eyes that look like I'm forever not on Earth, but somewhere else. It's a stigma, and I guess you could say it's a mental thing, because I've been judged poorly because of it. Oh, Andre, why do your eyes look like that? It's 9 a.m. in the morning. What do you mean? What are you trying to say? You think I just got up like Tupac and did what he did? Get out of here, bro. You're mad? Want me a dead man in my house? Anyways, sorry, my parents'
What?
house.
Where are you going with this?
I'm going somewhere. So I have this, I just look like I'm sleeping all the time. You get me? It just looks that way. Never mind if I'm sleeping now or not, but it just looks that way. Even when I'm full of energy, it looks like I'm sleeping. I look like my eyes are forever down. So that's one strike against me because I guess I'm there and I'm working and apparently I'm not moving as fast as everybody. So I think my third week, the lady was like, yeah, it's not working out.
I'm thinking,
It's not working out.
you sued, you got a nice
Sue who?
bag.
What's
This guy
bag
just
for
said-
what? Yo, she paid my money in cash and have a nice day. I was like, all right, it is what it is. So, with that being said, I don't let what people say about me, 'cause I heard that before. Oh, he's slow, this, that. I've never let things like that stop me. I'm in the trades now.
That's you, though. There's other people.
Just listen to me. Just listen. We're gonna talk about confidence because you're poking some bears, bro. I'm trying to be nice. So, I don't let what people say about me hold me down because I've learned over time that because people want to throw their isms and schisms and say this is what you are, this is who you are, sticks and stones
guy
won't
says
break
sticks
my
and stones.
bones, guy. And your words, fire for them. Straight up. If they're not positive, fire. 10 pacamaches.
Can we get a translator? Because I don't know what he's saying when he
I
goes.
gave
and
you the
starts-
translation for the 10
It's like broken
pacamaches,
English.
Bro. Come on now. Be nice.
Not everyone is from Jamaica.
10 pacamaches. Yo, that's a word right now in my head. But anyways, so yeah, I'm trying to say something here. People, words. So I feel like the way how you get over like being depression stuff, you gotta like you gotta like not let the situation make you numb in a way where it keeps you low. You gotta use that as ammunition or fuel. Hold on, the virgin, I see you ready for cut me. To build on that. Yo, enough people said things about me. And let me don't get me wrong. Words are powerful. Enough people say, a lot of people, is that English enough for you? A lot of people said things about me that was quite not very, it was naughty, it was rude words. You know
Go
what I'm
back to
saying?
Jamaican accent, bro. That's
That was
more-
not Jamaican. Stop it. Stop it right now.
back to
I'm
Jamaican
going to get in
accent.
trouble from a certain English lady say, don't do that, Andre. It's not nice. It's not nice at all. But anyways, yeah, so people will throw their words at you. People say things about you. People will portray you to be a certain way, And it's up to you to rise to the occasion, to step above what they want to say, to be a better person. Buddy, I've heard it time and time again. Oh, I'm not gonna be this. I'm not gonna be that. You're gonna be a bum. Actually, one time when it really hurt, cause words, one time it really hurt. One lady was one of my principals was Greenbrier, and the guy used to sell chocolates for Dave. They both said in 1 week, "Oh, Andre, with an attitude like that, you're gonna be a bum." And bro, let me tell you, when the second person said it, I was like, never, you know. And that's been a driving force in me since grade 7 or 8. I don't remember, but bro, I will never be a bum. That's not who I am, you know. Some people out there, they're okay with being bums or whatever, and that now gonna reach me by the grace of God and the will that I have. Nah happen. Fire 10 pack of matches. But yeah, I feel like when you speak to the situation and you tell the situation that you no longer have power to hold me down or to keep me in this state of mind or way, you are declaring, you are speaking over yourself, if one would say prophesying, and you are speaking into your future, you know? I am coming up. And maybe the rough side of the mountain. You're coming up out of the valleys. I don't know. There's a hill that you got to climb. But if you don't get up and if you don't do something, well, what good is it if you stay in that low vibration state of mind, that lowness? And it's like you become comfortable with it. And if you become comfortable with it, that, my friend, is the danger. And you don't want to be there. Sorry.
So let's close it because we've been doing this for an hour.
We didn't even get into that
That could be our
syllable,
next.
illable, killable, fire for that 10 pack of matches phrases.
Well, next episode we can talk about that.
Next
closing,
time.
closing for hot topics. You know, again, this is our personal opinion. If we offended anybody in any way, we want to apologize. This is just our views.
Why are we apologizing? It's our opinion. We shouldn't apologize for having an opinion, because when politicians go out there and say we're going to do this, we're going to do that for you, we're going to do this, we're going to do that for you, and then when somebody says, "Hey, buddy, what happened to this?" You say, "Oh, well, yeah, I said that, but you know,
They
it's not in the
apologize
budget."
if
They
there's
don't
enough-
apologize. They tell you
if-
it's not in the budget.
Or they get canceled.
They don't know. Politicians don't get canceled. They cancel us, bro.
So here's my thoughts, my 2
Actors
cents.
get canceled.
Is that, again, you know, people are going through a lot of things. And if you are faced with mental health, please talk to somebody, right?
Yes.
Whether it's a friend, whether it's a family member, whether it's a physician, whoever you feel comfortable, please go and talk to them, share with them how you feel. It is a serious matter. And again, please, please, please talk to somebody. Any thoughts before we end it?
You're not gonna like what I have to say, but in my personal opinion, if you have mental health issues and you feel like a victim, stop feeling like a victim. Become a victor. Okay? Stop being the victim.
It's not that easy.
Jesus, you see what I mean?
It's not that easy.
See what I mean? If you switch your mindset,
It's not that easy.
I never said it was easy, bro. I never said it was easy. Doing the right thing is not easy. Yo, getting up and go jogging for some people is not easy, but it's the right thing, right? It's the right thing, right?
Right.
Yo, bro, you know how long I haven't jogged? But I've been skipping, and I've been trying to shoot some hoops. I've been trying to do something to sweat a little, you know what I mean? Get a little back in shape. All I'm saying is, Sebastian, bro, people out there, mental issues, depression. Stop feeling like a victim, bro. Be a victor. Yo.
I disagree with some of the things that he's saying. And
He sure does.
That is one of them.
He sure does.
So,
it's just a mindset. Hold
on that
hold
note.
You want to be the victor or the victorious? You have the power because you, my friends, you have free will. You have the will to give it up. You have the will to stand. You have the will to change. You have the will to overcome. And if you will yourself to do these things and to become an overcomer, you will be an achiever. Change the mindset, do the right thing, and become a better person. Silence the enemy. Silence the naysayer. Silence those thoughts and step up and get up and do something with your life. Praise the Lord.
On that note, peace and love, guys.
God bless.